Now, my next guest is on a mission to go to at least 3 festivals every single week for a year in Ireland. And he's now at the halfway mark, and he joins us in studio. Mark Graham, it's good to see you.
It's good to be seen, because I tell you, I'm bet. I'm absolutely bet. 6 months on the road now. Yeah, it's been tough going, but I'm still kind of energised about it, which I didn't really think when I thought of doing this idea of going to 3 festivals every week for a year. I didn't think I'd actually do it.
Did you not?
I did know. I thought something had happened and I wouldn't manage it. But yeah, 6 months down now, halfway there.
And have you managed to do 3 every week?
No, I haven't. But what happened? I had chicken pox at Christmas. Would you believe that? I got chicken pox for Christmas, so I didn't get out that weekend. But what I have done is some weekends.
That weekend, I'm sure you were sick for a while though. That's meant to floor you as an adult, I thought.
No, I took one weekend off and then I went for the New Year's Day swim out in the 40-foot. So that.
And were you fully over the pox at that stage?
I was still a bit scabby.
Oh Lord, yes.
But
you do realise it's a highly contagious disease.
That's the Irish Sea though, and the pollution in that has to be good for you. I was a little bit scabby, I have to say, which wasn't pleasant for the other swimmers, but
I have a beautiful visual of you now. Yeah. Let's move on from that. So besides that weekend and then getting back into doing all the festivals, you've been doing all right.
Single weekend. One weekend I went to 6 festivals. 3 weeks ago I went to 5 in 1 week. There's more festivals that I'm not getting to, and I sit down and I plan this out and I go nuts because one that I can't remember what I was doing that weekend, but the Dublin Burlesque Festival, I missed that. How could you miss that?
That would have been a good one.
It would have been pretty interesting. There would have been plenty to write about, but I didn't get to it.
Why? You just didn't hear about it?
No, because I was at, I can't remember what festival I was at, but what I tried to do is, because diesel is expensive, I try and find 3 festivals that are in somewhat similar areas so I don't have to travel too much.
Yeah, let's go back a tiny bit. For people who didn't hear you when you were on with us the last time, just very briefly, can you remind us why this all happened and you decided to do this? Because you do have a job as well, so you're managing. You're a busy man during the week, and then you're off to these festivals. I don't know how you're still standing at this stage. Fair play to you, but you're doing it. How did it happen that you decided this is what I'm going to do?
I applied for a mortgage in May of 2011. And I was refused by a number of institutions. And I had 10% deposit for the house, but I still couldn't raise the funds for the mortgage. One bank told me to come back when I had 20% of the price of the house. Another bank told me to come back in 3 months. And I was thinking to myself, 3 months, grand. I'll scrimp and save and I'll cut every corner and I'll come back in 3 months and I'll get the mortgage and I'll buy the house. But then a little voice in the back of my head said, feck them. You know, they have a worse credit rating than I do, and I'm going to scrimp and save and break me neck to try and meet what they say. So instead of doing that, I bought a camper van. Yeah. And I'm going to go to 3 festivals every week for a year. It's a protest of positivity. Yeah. And what kind of sparked it was that I had a camper van before. I had a lovely 1973 VW vintage camper van. Lovely. And I sold that to raise the money to get the deposit for the house.
Right.
So there I was with no house and no camper van. So, you know, I'm in no way in a bad situation.
That's a message for people as well. It's obviously you listen to that voice inside, you listen to your gut, and you decided, I'm going to choose to live my life instead of worrying and torturing myself over trying to collect this money together and, you know, get tied down to owning a home. And you decided you're still living your life.
Yeah.
I presume you still have a home. You're not living in your van.
No, I'm renting a house. Yeah. I have a little cottage rented.
So what would you say your quality of life is now?
Absolutely amazing. Last weekend, and some weekends you can't divide the debauchery, but last weekend was kind of a special weekend. And 6 months in, last weekend I went down to Dingle and Ballyferret outside Dingle. There was a
gorgeous part of the country.
Beautiful, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Skull Kjol and Eric was on down there, and it's a similar to the Willie Clancy Festival. They run classes for musicians and for dancers, and the concert on the Saturday night was amazing, the best of musicians. But Christy Moore turned up, and unannounced, and was playing. And I was watching the music, and I was just going, this is kind of special, you know. And the next day then we went on, there was a walking festival on in Dingle. So we walked all around Mount Brandon, up in the mountains around Dingle. And I was just thinking to myself, how bad is this? You know, it's absolutely, as you say yourself, the scenery down there, it's majestic. You know, it is. It's not called the Kingdom for nothing. And walking around the hills down there, I was just saying to myself, how lucky am I to be doing this? And still as enthused about doing it as I was when I started. And one of the best things about those walking festivals, and I've been on a few of them now, is the scenery is great, but the people that you meet are fantastic. and the different people from all walks of life. There was a fisherman from Killybegs, drove all the way down to do that walking festival in Dingle. There was a chap, Connor, who I met from Limerick. 2 great girls from Kerry who were working in Dublin who came back to do the walking festival. And the most wonderful people. And one of the things that I've noticed going around, and it is a protest of positivity, is that for a long time, and we're still being told that we lost the run of ourselves. I'm meeting people every single weekend who give of their time and of themselves to put on these festivals and make the place where they live a better place, and they haven't lost the run of themselves, or they didn't lose the run of themselves.
Sure.
I don't know where those people are. I haven't found them yet. There was one woman in Clough Jordan in County Tipperary. She was made redundant a year ago, and she squirreled away some of her lone parents' allowance, and she squirreled away some of the money that she was getting because she was unemployed, and she put on a gypsy jazz and craft beer festival on a weekend in Clough Jordan, and it was brilliant. It was just a great combination. Gypsy jazz and craft beer. It was absolutely fantastic. I loved it. It was really good. One of the things that happened since I was here last is that I'm the All-Ireland Conquer champion.
I saw that.
Yeah.
So how much training were you doing for that?
None. Absolutely none.
And how did you win the title?
Absolute fluke. But I have to say that for a Waterford man taking any title out of Kilkenny, it was an absolute pleasure to bring that trophy over the bridge to the Dacia. I loved it.
I love it. And actually, looking at the list of other stuff you've done as well, you are now the 6th, I believe, best bog snorkeler in the country.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed with that, but some of those bog snorkelers are fair handy. They have legs on them now. You wouldn't see them on a horse. When like a horse and flippers, some of those young fellas up there.
You clearly love people, meeting people, getting out and about. And when you're talking about festivals as well, it's not like you're down in the pub and it's that. You're out and about.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, the walking festival, the different, and such varied festivals that you've been to. Would you be inspired to set up your own after all of this?
Well, I have worked at festivals, and I am on the committee of a festival in Waterford as well. But the answer to that is no, I don't think I would, because the amount of hard work that people put into this, it's almost a vocation for some of them. I'm much happier going to the festivals than organising them. And what you say, that out and about enjoying them, that there is that element to a lot of the festivals. Some festivals that you'd never expect. Something like the egg throwing championships in Leitrim, that was some crack. That was absolutely brilliant. It was at the Culchie Festival.
Right. Is it just what it says in the tin?
You throw eggs. Well, what you have to do is one person throws the egg and the other person catches the egg. So you have to kind of...
Were you a thrower or a catcher?
You have to do both.
Oh, right.
And if you catch it, you move further apart and further apart. And there was this fella, and he was a road bowler. And you know road bowls?
Yeah.
And you know they kind of have that underarm movement. Over 90 metres he fired this egg. So it was more than the length of a GAA pitch. And another fella caught it. It was a world record set on that day. But
and you witnessed it?
I witnessed it. I was there. The amount of laughing that we did in that field, throwing eggs at each other. No drink. And it was free.
Yeah.
Not a bob. Didn't cost a bob. The eggs were donated because they were nearly out of date.
Yes.
And it didn't cost anyone anything, but the amount of laughing that we did.
And the crack, yeah.
It was absolutely brilliant.
And is there any weekends on a Friday after your week of work when you feel, I'm jaded after the week, particularly hard week, or, you know, like you having the chicken pox? I shouldn't laugh. It's a serious matter, obviously.
It wasn't pleasant.
You took that weekend off to recuperate.
Yep.
But have you ever kind of felt, you know what, I'm just not up to it this weekend. I just want to stay at home. I just want to have, you know, a day where I'm chilling out, watching a bit of telly, you know, having an old pot of tea and do nothing.
It's tough going sometimes because walking festivals are fine and, you know, Irish music schools are great, but something like, say, the Matchmaking Festival in Lisdoonvarna, you have to really throw yourself into the middle of that.
Yes.
And that involves being in the pub for a long period of time. Yeah. One of the things that happened was I got an email from Mochra na Ferma, and they invited me to be an escort for the Queen of the Land, which is Mochra na Ferma's Lovely Girls competition.
Yeah.
And that nearly killed me. That was 3 days with 26 other lads who were on for a party.
Yeah.
And we had a great time, but yeah, it was...
You wouldn't want to be shy doing what you're doing. I get the impression that you're a confident fella, like you can go in and you introduce yourself to people and kind of get on with people.
Yeah, well, that's kind of interesting because sometimes I will have people come with me. You know, that I have friends and I have people who want to come with me and they say, I want to go to that festival. I say, yeah, we'll go. And that... When I have done that, I'm less inclined to talk to other people. I think when you're on your own at something like that, you have to talk to somebody else. You don't have a choice. Like in Dingle at the Walking Festival, when you're walking up the hills with people, you can't really not talk to them, you know, because they will, you know what Irish people are like. They're not going to say nothing to you, you know, and you'd have to answer them at least. If you didn't instigate the conversation, you're at least going to have to talk back to them for a little while.
In a few months' time, it's going to be the summer, of course, and that's when really festival season kicks off, and you are spoiled for choice around the country. Can you tell me what you're really looking forward to in the coming months, and of course what you're up to this weekend as well?
Well, this weekend I'm just back, and I'm lucky to still be alive. I was at TEDfest on Inishmore, and
fantastic.
What an experience that is. That has to stand out on the calendar, and a lot of people who I talk to, that's one that they say I really want to go to that, and I recommend that people should go to that. The first ever celebration and festival of sexuality is on in Dublin this weekend, a thing called Bliss Fest.
Very interesting.
Extremely interesting, yeah. And I was contacted through Facebook again, and the girl organising that asked me if I'd be interested in attending. It's not every day.
Do you know much more about it?
I know a bit about it. I know that it's not an orgy. I was told to say that, right? It is a festival of sexuality.
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you cleared that up for us.
Yeah. No, that's pretty well put, I thought, wasn't it?
Yeah, very eloquently, I thought.
I thought so too.
And then any biggies for the summer?
Well, I mean, there's a few that stand out. I mean, the Electric Picnic is probably the mammy and daddy of music festivals as they stand. But for me, it's the kind of quirky things that I like. And the Howye Festival in Durrow, that's one that I'm looking forward to. You know, and it's the really small, quirky ones that I like to hear about. And unfortunately, they're not the ones that get advertised the most. So if you wouldn't mind me asking you and your listeners to tell me about any festivals they know about, you can get in touch with me through the website and the blog that I have, which is a year of festivals in Ireland.com.
Simple as that.
So simple as that. A year of festivals in Ireland.com. And if you know of any festivals, the quirkier the better. I love getting my hands dirty at these things.
You have a great reaction on your website. I think it's like 12,000 people actually follow your blog.
Yeah, over 12,000 people have visited that, which I didn't expect that either.
Great.
You know?
Keep it going.
Oh, absolutely. I can't stop now. I'm not
Good
able
man.
to stop.
Good.
Yeah.
You'll talk to us again at some point.
It would be an absolute pleasure to talk to you again. And thanks very much for having me.
Well, it was a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks a million, Mark. Mark Graham there at the website, A Year of Festivals in Ireland.com.